everybody, Jill here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a Wig Wednesday and a wig chat. Alrighty, so we're starting this one out directly. It's on my head right here. You guys, this is way into a sort of non-comfort zone color-wise for me, but I think part of the fun at looking at sort of outlet or sale priced wigs on your reputable wig websites and or your local wig salon is the price is so right, you may consider experimenting a little bit with color. And that is what I did today. Now, whether or not, you know, I'm going to be all over this, not sure. Being how it was on clearance, well, sale, I cannot return it. So it is a commitment, but you really can sometimes get really great bargains. And I feel like even though this was not necessarily a super pricey wig within the Ellen Wille line, it still was even less, which is really great. But it's still, you know, it's money out of your pocket, and it is a gamble either way. But let's talk about this. This is the Ellen Wille, this is their hair power line. It says Power Up Your Style by Ellen Wille. And this is Ocean, which this is the very first time I have tried Ocean. And so I literally just kind of put this on my head. But this is in the color Hot Mocha. This is the rooted version. I'm going to go ahead and hope that this will indeed focus for you. So this is rooted, and because it is, you know, a darker color, the rooting isn't super noticeable, but it's enough for me to really push it over the top when it comes to whether or not I'm going to like the color. I am a rooted gal for wigs. I really have to have a root even in darker colors, medium darker colors for me. This is, again, not just the color, but the length. Now, so I have never tried Ocean. It's been out. I'll put the year it came out if I can find that information somewhere in this area. So it's been out for a while, and I remember seeing little blips of it back in 2017-ish when I was looking at wigs, you know. And you mostly see it in blondes, in the blonde color range. And if I do like this, I may decide to purchase it in a blonde color because you know how I do love my blondes. I cannot wait to show you this color out in the sun for two reasons. One, I want to see it out in the sun. And two, I think it's going to sparkle and just be luscious and gorgeous. This is a beautiful color. Whether or not I can pull off a very warm butterscotch, beautiful warmth of the sun kind of highlights in a sort of a deep sort of auburn, beautiful brown background. I don't know. I'm quite fair. However, you know, people who are very fair do have this color naturally. I don't know, but I can tell you one thing, this would probably be amazing in the fall when, you know, you just sort of feel like warming up in the fall, in your color, in the hair, in your clothes, your makeup and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. I am not disappointed in this color. It may appear a little flatter over camera, but it actually isn't. It's got a lot of beautiful depth to it, and I really don't know if you can see the beautiful, I don't even know, beautiful light auburn and gold. I'm really not seeing that much gold. It's just, it's quite pretty. Quite pretty. Really pretty. So the color, again, I think it may be, just by looking at my viewfinder, it may be coming up quite a bit darker than it is, but it all depends because sometimes I'll get it in editing and it does not look anything. It doesn't come off anything like it did in my viewfinder, so I hope that's the case. Anyway, okay, so the color, not sure, but as for the color itself, it's gorgeous. Just not sure if I like it on me. Again, guys, I purchased this with my own money, and so what you usually see me do is just first impressions on how I'm not only liking all the features and the wig itself, but how I like it on myself. So it is chatty, and if you're not used to that and it's annoying you, you either can hit the forward button or move on to a different style of wig review, if you will. That's what's awesome about YouTube. You have so many different sorts of resources out there. Anywho, yeah, you guys, this cut is so pretty. It is really super pretty. I feel a little bit like a Charlie's Angel back in the 1970s slash, you know, maybe early 80s. Did they go into the 80s? Yeah, I feel a little bit like Jaclyn Smith. I do. In this, the cut, does it kind of, well, it would have to kind of go like this, I think, for Jaclyn Smith. But just the way that it's kind of like right in here, and it does this, and I do like the cut. Now, I do want to show you something, and I think I'll wait until I actually take the cap off and I can show you then. But it does tend to get a little and feel and look a little heavy, just kind of like right in here. And so I did use a little bit of hairspray for synthetic fibers. This is, by the way, a synthetic fiber. It is not heat friendly, which it wouldn't need to be because this is perfectly styled, and it will remain that way even after you wash it, every time you put it on. That's the lovely thing about synthetic wigs, is they are pre-styled for you, and it's going to look like this when you get it on. It's going to look like you spent an hour and a half on your hair, hot rollers, straightening, and blow drying the body into it. And no, we get to just plop it right on our head. Love it. Anyway, so I ran out of my very favorite hairspray, which is the BeautiMark Style and Hold. I love that hairspray. It's been my favorite so far, but the reason why, I think this is leaking. I think this is actually leaking a little bit at the top. Oh, that's because the lid's not on all the way. I'll explain that. Okay, but so I have been, rather than reordering it, because I have reordered that twice, and I went through 2 bottles of that over time, and rather than doing it again, I decided to, once again, for the benefit of us, I wanted to experiment with different types and brands of synthetic hairspray for synthetic wigs and hair. So this is another one that I'm trying. It's called Shape. It is by Hair You Wear. If you're very sensitive to smell, fragrance type, it's quite strong, and I have it, not super strong, but it definitely has a fragrance. And I haven't quite put my finger on it yet. It's not like a flowery, citrusy, it's more like a hairspray, like a true chemically hairspray smell. But it does fade, it doesn't stick around, I've noticed, but initially you will smell that. So if you're real sensitive to that, I don't know how you'll do, but I've noticed that anyway, unless I'm getting used to it, I don't feel like that stays around. Anyway, I like this one better than the other one that I was trying out. Do I have that one here? Yes. And that one, is this it? What's this? Restore, no. So this one is called Wig Spray, and this is by Brandywine, and I didn't care for this one at all. It just really kind of, I don't know, it didn't really do anything. So yeah, I wasn't too fond of this. This one is a little better than that. However, I think I still like my BeautiMark Style and Hold. I think it just behaves a little more like actual traditional hairspray, like what you would expect it to do. So yeah, but this one is working okay. Definitely doing something more than this one. So why do I wear product in my wigs? Well, I got to put something in it to tame the flyaways, number one, and sometimes dry shampoo will help that as well, and some sort of hairspray. is going to help with the constant flyaways and just kind of getting things, you know, back there. But they don't last very long, and through the day it's gonna start happening again. But it definitely helps. I mean, I can't just go cold turkey out the door and expect, and it will drive me nuts. So I have to have something in it. As for the other products that I like to use in my wigs, depending on the look I'm wanting and the style, yeah, I'm all for using product that's made for synthetic hair in your synthetic styles, in your wigs. They wash out fine. They generally sort of start coming out really just by running your fingers through it again anyway. And I have not found it to gum up or ruin my wigs long term in any way, shape, or form. Now, it depends on what you're using on it. For instance, the creams, like the styling creams, the contour creams, you know, those are heavy. They're quite heavy, and they will weigh your fibers down. And so you have to go very, very light with those. Look at those as more of a piecing cream, as putting some cool texture in, but be light with it because it will get your fibers looking quite greasy after a while. Again though, if it's made for synthetic fibers, they will wash out. I've never had any problem with proper product that I've used on my wigs. Now, dry shampoos, you know, those are for human hair and they work just fine on synthetic as well. They're basically kind of powdery and they dull the shine, and they do put, depending on the brand, most of them do impart a bit of a texture, which I actually really like because it will allow products like this to work better because it's kind of sticking to that dry shampoo as well as the fibers that you put it on. So there is a place for dry shampoo, and then in other times when you love the long silkiness and you don't want that texture, then you probably won't want to use dry shampoo, at least the ones that I've tried. They do sort of change the texture of the fiber. Not to ruin it, just for styling purposes. So I hope that helps. All right, so this is Ocean. I'm gonna go ahead and twirl around for you, and then we'll talk about the cap construction. It's quite a basic cap, so we'll look at that in a second. All right, so before I do take the cap off, yeah, this has lovely layers. It is shaped beautifully. It is styled gorgeously. It's got the wispy sort of ends. I think it's very light and airy all through here. It gets a little heavier right in through here. I think, like I said, using a little bit of hairspray and kind of lifting those fibers up, airing them out a bit. You know, there we go. We're back to the 80s now. But that's okay. That's where I'm comfortable at. Anyway, just kind of getting those fibers from being flattened and heavy and kind of getting them off is going to help that a lot. And I am going to I do plan, I should say, on doing a little bit of dry shampoo. I'm not going to put it everywhere. I'm probably just going to spray it really lightly, kind of far away, kind of right through here, just to dull the shine a little bit. And that extra texture is going to help to kind of keep these fibers a little bit off. I know you're thinking, wouldn't it weigh it down? I don't have that experience with it at all. And when I use a hairspray, once I get some dry shampoo down in there, it will help that sort of stick. And so I find dry shampoo can be a wonderful addition to your styling products for your synthetic or regular wigs. So yeah, I mean, I feel a little tiny bit wiggy in this one. I do. I don't know. But yet it is quite natural in density, especially kind of down in here. And the haircut is beautiful. But yeah, I feel a tiny little bit wiggy with this one. And I'm not sure actually if that has to do with the darker color. Maybe I'm just feeling heavier because it's darker. No, probably not. So let's look at the cap, shall we? Let's look at the cap. So here is Ocean's cap. It's fairly basic, but it does have a couple features that bump it up for me. So let's look at that. So we have a fully wefted, machine wefted cap. This gives you a good amount of stretch, quite a good amount of stretch there. Whoops, my pinky kind of started coming through there. Here we have a left side, quite small little monofilament part there. So anywhere in here where you part, it's gonna give the illusion of your natural scalp there. It has a tiny, tiny little bit of a kind of a lace front, if you will. You know, as for permatease, I'm really not feeling that much. I know there probably is some, but I'm really not feeling that much at all. So back here in the nape, we have an extended nape, and it is soft. It's like that soft kind of velvety material, which is fantastic. Same with the ear tabs. It has a metal stay, which is a pretty nice one, and it also has that kind of soft velvety ear tab as well. We do have the Velcro straps, which a lot of us prefer those. So there is just the tiniest bit of permatease, like right here on the side of the part, just a little bit, and sort of in the crown. And I like that because that means it's gonna kind of give a really pretty crown profile view, and I love to have a little bit of lift in the crown, and so much so that I don't even mind the Noriko poof that you get in the crown because I love that so much. So let's look at that lacing again that I wanted to show you, right where that monofilament part is on the left side. I do use it stays to secure kind of the perimeter of my wigs. So this will be sort of glued down with my it stays, and I'll make sure it is, and I'll just sort of like hold it and press in about 10 seconds, and then I'll just make sure that it's down. So if the wind blows, or if I do find myself doing this, that it's not gonna kind of lift up like that. But you can see a little bit of that rooting. One thing I did notice is that, you know, if you are doing this, you can see the weft right in through here. Do you see that weft? But, you know, who's gonna do that? I don't know. But I just noticed that. They're darker wefts, so they really are gonna be not really that noticeable, but I would just be wary of that. So what do I do when I like the wig? I'm digging the color, I like the shape, and I kind of like it in general. But maybe because it's new, I'm not used to it, or for whatever reason, I feel like I feel a little wiggy in it. That may take a little bit of time for me to get over with a particular style, or it's just the way it's always gonna be, but I love the wig nonetheless. That's when you can start having fun putting things in it, taming it a little bit to your eye, and making you feel much more confident to go out the door. So if that's the case with this one, and by the way, this is cut in such a great way where it's longer here, you can do some very pretty things, pin it back, because you have some length here. So that's really nice. However, just be careful about those wefts that may poke through every now and again. So I'm just gonna kind of put a little headband in here, and just see how I feel about that. This headband is super pretty. I absolutely love it. I have to be careful though how close I put it behind my ear, because one time it was sitting up against there, and holy moly, it was not fun. I had to fix that baby. I got a little bit more out on this side, but I got this at Target is where I was going with that, but it was like 2 summers ago. So don't know if it would still be there, but it is pretty. I do love it. So, I mean, if I was feeling that way and I still was in the mood to wear it, but I needed a little boost of confidence, then I would probably do, you know, something like this. So, you know, the headband's always kind of my first go-to because it's super easy. And, you know, it's like I put it in there and we're good. But say you're not feeling a headband or you didn't want a little something extra there behind your ear that time. So be careful because look at weft. So we're going to have to be very careful right through there, I notice. This side, not so much, but that side, interesting. So we're going to have to leave some of that down, I think. So I can do a little tiny bit back here. That's actually really cute. I'm liking that. One of the reasons why I think I like this is because it accentuates the really pretty highlighting that's going on in this color. Kind of right in through here. So again, this is really cute. It's okay. There, we've done that. We've done a good job there, okay. So, I mean, you know, I would obviously pay more attention and more time on doing these, but that actually looks really cute. Again, where's my other one? What do I do with that? Okay, I have to spray a little bit of this to calm kind of those little flyaways down. And then I'll do what I do, because you know, I do like to tuck. Cute. Lots of body. Really tasteful body too. You know what I mean? It's not completely over the top. And yeah. To that, but I love this line in this style, in this cut, and this shaping is gorgeous. Really, really pretty. So yeah, you know, when you get a good deal and a good buy, it makes it a little easier to, you know, deal with things that you're not sure about. I do think this cap, again, fits more of like sort of an average petite. I'll put my measurements like always. I always try to remember to do that. If you ever see a wig chat where that's not there, a comment down below and let me know to remind me to put them up there. So I always try to do that. So at least you can kind of get a feel as to the size of my head and compare that with what your measurements would be. So you can get an idea. But yeah, I think other than it fitting definitely more of an average petite on me, it probably is fitting me a little better. It's not coming down quite so low in the nape, which makes it more comfortable to move my head around. And, you know, I'm still getting, you know, again, it fits back just a little bit more than normal and up a little bit more than normal. But look at, these are temple tabs and they're actually fitting me around the temple area, which means that it's going to be comfortable. So yeah, I'm enjoying my Ellen Wille so far. Again, I just have the shuffle and now I have Ocean. I have another one that I'm going to be showing you next week. All right, I'm going to sign off for now and I hope you found this helpful in some way, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.